The tumbleweed and the pirate passed down the same dirt street at separate points along the line of the whole of time. The tumbleweed tore loose from the earth just outside Tucson, a wrong-headed town in the Arizona territory, and tumbled all the way to where it blew off a California cliff and landed on the deck of a ship. It was kept like a pet by the ship's cook, who was astounded that a tumbleweed had even landed on the ship's deck. The boatswain would scoff at the cook, saying, "There's no great hullabaloo at Tumbleweed. Why, I have seen half-naked women with the tails of fishies leap up out of the waves and land and lay out bathed in the sun on the decks of many ships I've been on. I wager you, even you, with your madman eyes and your head full of growling rocks, even you would find it more appealing to have a half-naked woman with an enormous fat fish tail on our deck instead of some tumbleweed." But the ship's cook waved off the boatswain with one thin hand and kept the tumbleweed. He was an admirer of skeletons. He figured the skeletons of things were noble for holding the things upright. And he figured the tumbleweed was the skeleton of a bush. He liked fish skeletons too, but he never kept those because of the smell. He kept the tumbleweed though, kept it in a secret cranny of his cabin, only breaking one of its spines to make it fit. The tumbleweed sat quiet. There were certain religions in the world that believed the tumbleweed could think. They were somewhat right. The tumbleweed thought things, but only in song. It sat in the cranny of the cabin, thinking, "Diddle-diddle-dee, diddle-diddle-dee, diddle-diddle-diddle, diddle-diddle-diddle." As for the pirate, the ship he was on caught fire one night, the same way Chicago would catch fire a few years later from a lantern kicked by a cow. And the pirates had thought the cow being on board was good for their luck. But on a clear evening off the coast of Mexico, the ship went down. Our pirate stroked for the shore while the rest of the crew drowned or burned. He would have done fine if a shark hadn't bitten off the bottom half of him. He crawled up onto an empty beach, loomed over by pleasant monster sand dunes and a pregnant moon beaming down. He waited to die. He tried to repent with God over the bad things he'd done and smile over the good things he'd done. But his own almond eyes went dim and closed altogether, and his mother came and spoke to him in words of dust. But then the pirate awoke the next morning. It was only his right foot that had been bitten off by a shark. It only felt like the whole bottom half of it was gone. Wow, said the pirate. He went to a sawbones and got a wooden foot. He decided to live on the land. I can do without water. He took to being more of a train robber than a pirate, and riding horses to save wear on his wooden foot. He wound up in Arizona territory, in the wrong-headed town of Tucson. And there he was, one night, having gotten drunk over a blue-faced girl and swaying down the very same dirt street, singing to himself that the tumbleweed had tumbled on years before. So, of all things, and like all things, even the rambling tumbleweed and the aimless pirate were in the web of the universe together. And the pirate sang,